Hello, Steve here from stevessuggest.com, and I got Stuart Kelly with me here, and what we're talking about today is Stuart being a professional footballer in Thailand, and it's actually for a team that I used to watch, albeit a different season, and that was Khon Kaen FC. So first of all, welcome Stuart.
Hi.
Hey. And so how did you end up playing for Khon Kaen?
It's quite a long story actually. So it was through a friend when I was back in Scotland in between clubs. He actually, the assistant manager of his English team was John Gorman.
Yep.
And his son, who was a coach at Reading, had actually just moved to Khon Kaen in Thailand, who at that point were in Division 1 and about to be promoted. Yep. So I actually waited to the end of that season playing for Auckland City, and then they got promoted and I was on the next available flight out for a few years. So there was no background check or anything for me. It was just, here's a 2-year contract, and I just jumped into it and left everything in New Zealand behind, really. Yeah, that's how it got started. And there was another New Zealand player that's meant to go as well.
Oh, okay.
James Pritchard, who played for Auckland City in New Zealand.
Yep.
And about how he decided not to go at the end.
Right.
Which was funny because when I went there, I seen all these printed shirts and everything in the club shop. So it was quite interesting to inform them that he's not coming.
Yeah.
But that's how it started. It was just a link that I followed up, a long lost connection, and basically went fishing and that came out.
Yeah. Okay. And would you, if you saw John now, would you be telling him that he missed out on a good experience, or how would you explain it to him?
Oh, James.
James,
he kind of knows. He was tracking me on social media and loving it. But at that stage, him and his partner, he couldn't move with his partner. It was my partner at the time was living here, and I was actually meant to sign in Iceland, but never. Then I was living here in Christchurch, and then I moved to Auckland for 9 months, and I think I had a bit more flexibility than what he did. So so I think that was his main reason. But he got to stay at Auckland City and finished third at the FIFA World Club Cup. So I think he's quite happy.
Yeah. So the Thai Premier League, how did you enjoy that as a playing level? Was it challenging? Was it?
It was good. It's just a different style. Everybody goes on about the heat. You adapt to the heat.
Yep.
I find that when you play in the Oceania Champions League and you play in Vanuatu at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Thailand's different though, because where I was, it's a dry heat. Yep. Then you play in Bangkok, which was more of a sticky sort of heat. Yeah. And then you go south, even further south, and it became more humid. Right. But again, you just drink more water and plan for it. You're training in it every day, and at times actually to adapt to it, I would go out running at 1 o'clock during the day. Around the lake in the middle of Khon Kaen. So I did a couple of laps of that just to remove any mental blocks. But just getting water on board. The standard itself, the style's quite different. Yep. There's a lot of African players are strong and powerful. Thai players are quite agile. Yep. When I went there, it's not. I don't think it's the same now, but the amount of fans that were coming in, the fan attendance was sky high in the Premier League. Yeah. And all the games were live each weekend. So. I think there was even a second division team that got 30,000 down at Songkla one game. Wow. Patani, who I actually went down and had a look at, they were getting 20,000 at games. Yeah. I think we were floating between 8, 12, 15 or 15,000 from Mintong or someone came to town. But even, you played Mintong when we were there. It's not the new one that they're in now, but we played them at their other stadium. It's packed. Well accepted before kick-off in the pictures, but everybody's trying to get there and have to drink, and then they come in and the whole place is packed. Which was in Thai Port as well, was a good supported club. Being where they were based, but I thought it was good. The exposure and everything, the experience for me. Because I was getting 28, 29 at that time. Yep. And it was time to try something different. Yep. Sample a completely different culture. Yeah. Way of doing things. Yeah. And that was good.
Yeah, I think when they were in the Yamaha League, having dropped down, when I was watching, I would estimate, I didn't read, probably only a couple of thousand. So it changed quite a bit by dropping, and I guess it's partly related to who you're playing against as to,
Yeah, everybody likes to be involved and important in big occasion. known some of the Thai boys, they were quite unhappy with the way Khon Kaen. We spoke briefly about how parts of it were managed and how in the end that's detrimental to the performance of the team, and then when it drops and economically it becomes an issue for the team. And I think that's what helped, and even when I was there, there was already talk about Khon Kaen United. These other people forming a club because they wanted to do something in their eyes better than how Khon Kaen FC was. And we've seen the emergence of now Khon Kaen United. And I think now you've got a split fan base between both of them.
I think with Khon Kaen United, when I went back 2 or 3 years ago, they told me that there'd been something going on there. Was there a ban against Khon Kaen United or something due to corruption? Corruption in football never happens, eh?
Yeah, it doesn't happen anywhere, does it? But there's a Brazilian boy, I came across, he's friends with some other guys. I think he's the captain of Khon Kaen United at the minute, and he's been there for years now and he loves it. And also there's a boy who used to play White Thackeray, the Cardoza, Richie Cardoza. So his brother's Paulo Cardoza. And he's the second top all-time goal scorer in the Australian National Soccer League of all time. So I actually played against both of them for South Melbourne when they were playing in Melbourne in the same team. And then Richie came over to White Thackeray when they had Chris Jackson, Noah Hickey, the big guns playing over here, and Shannon Cole, who ended up playing for Sydney United. But then Richie came back over again and he played in Austria, but he actually went over and played for Khon Kaen. He did one. It might have been there when you were there.
He could have been.
And he ended up playing. And so again, it's fans started making connections on my Facebook with him and our connection, and so it was quite kind of like kept alive the connection with it a little bit. He loved it there as well. Everything that comes with it. So when there were some other foreign players there as well during your time, so coaching instructions and all that sort of thing, what was the main language that was used? Thai.
Was Thai. So you just had to pick up certain terms.
I told him pretty quick. The Cameroon boy who still plays there at the moment, who I was paired with, but he spoke English. He spoke French and local Cameroon dialect because they're a little different. So he would tell me at times, but then we were kind of similar positions at times. So again, he's quite honest, and he'd tell me some of the other, there'd be bits and pieces of English, or I'd know pretty quickly, like from actions and what was needed and what wasn't. But I think for the squad, at least they had somebody there that they could kind of speak English with, because the Thai boys like to shout random English words and stuff at times. So I think I was as good for them as they were for me. I tried to learn Thai as quickly as I can, but as you mentioned, there's a different dialects, and it's a tonal language, which is a bit more difficult. Although I did coach one day in a school in Khon Kaen. And the landlords would asked me to go coach, and they were paying me quite a lot of money. So I was like, But then I went in and I had 48 kids at 1 o'clock in the afternoon on a concrete playground to coach.
Oh hell!
And I had to do it in Thai. So that was challenging. But it's good experience. Something else. So it's quite good. Whereas a lot of the other foreign boys, the other Scottish boys at Thai Court, and there was Michael Bung, a Welsh guy who was the first British guy to go over there. So he kind of came in before it exploded. So he was like a superstar. So they had it a little bit easier because in Bangkok English was a bit more widely spoken. Whereas I was in probably class it as, even though there was 5-6 million people in the area, it was still rural Thailand compared to. So I think it was more of a novelty for Thai people as well. Just I was English speaking, and I wasn't an African or a Chinese person. It was hard being the only person not fluent Thai in the team.
And I mean, wearing my Khon Kaen shirt today, and when I was going to the games and sitting in the crowd, it was changed when I got the shirt. Other people would start coming to talk to me, and it was like, if only I could speak more Thai, you'd sort of make more friends around the town, and it is nice to try and be part of it. And
I actually went to Finland and I actually came back to Thailand, but all my stuff was still in Thailand. So I went to Finland to play, came back, and then I actually just paid in as a normal person for one of the games. And I just sat in the stadium at the ground. And some of the guys who remembered, you know, they came over and sat next to me, and just had discussions with them. So you know, it's quite like the fans of that are pretty friendly. Like I've no doubt that if I went back and went to U-Bar or went out into the streets and sat down, that people would come up and start speaking to me again. Even though football-wise, you know, I don't believe I made the impact that I could have. But again, that was due to other decisions from not the coaches. But yeah, that just happens in football, so we just move on.
So there was politics involved, unfortunately.
There is at every club, but you know, it's a bit hard when you don't understand everything that's going on. You don't speak the language, but you know, it's just the way. It's just the way a lot of Asian and Thai clubs operate, to be honest. It's their business, so they can do what they like. But yeah, man, you know, I have to survive, make a living, and plan the next move. So I mean, I actually ended my contract. It was settled, and then I had to stay there for 6 months. Because I was in and out the waited after the transfer window in Asia, so I couldn't go anywhere. And then I went, right, I need some game time. Went to Finland, played there. And then actually came back and signed for Khon Kaen.
Is that when you got injured?
No, I was down there playing, and the coach used to be the coach that was in charge of Buriram. Before the current regime. And they were Buriram Lightning, or I think they were after the electrical, after the power company. And you know, this was, you know, I was having to compete with like 20 Africans every day and just mass trials. Which, you know, some people say, oh, I'm not trialing, but I just went every day, and you know, it was, you know, you had to be your best every single day. And then they wanted to sign me. I was like, cool. And then the coach quit. He apparently everybody had to take X amount of pay cuts. And I just went, that's it then. And you know, I just says, well, if he's not there, I can't play. So I was getting to the stage, you know, I was approaching 30 where, you know, I went and played for Div 2 clubs, earned enough to live on. Start teaching English, get qualified, but then back in my mind I was thinking, you know, I need to go back, settle somewhere and progress. Not the real world, but come back, resettle. And Scotland was a choice to come back here. Adoptions in America, but again, visa-wise and stuff, it can be an issue. And I decided to come back to Christchurch and just settle down. That was also in the back of my parents, because they both died 4 weeks apart. And that was during when I was on trials at clubs, so I missed 3 weeks of the transfer window. And then I had to go back, and I think I went to Army. And they wanted an Asian visa, which there was a lot of confusion because everybody thought it was a Kiwi. But it's actually Australians that qualify as visa. It was the same with a team in Myanmar wanted me to play in the Asian FC Cup, I think it was. They actually wanted to sign, they wanted me to come over. But the coach didn't realise that I wasn't an Asian visa player. So again, it's just right place, right time. That happens to everybody in football. But so I was just sitting there waiting, and Bali was going to be an option as well, but they chose that year not to go ahead. And they have since, and given the top clubs. So then I just decided, right, it's time to come back to New Zealand for 6 months, and been here again ever since. So I kind of got not stuck, but kind of just got on with life.
On a income level, playing in Thailand, what other countries is it on a par with?
Income?
As a
it varies just from player to player and team to team. Indonesia, Malaysia. I think recently there was a Malaysian club that took a player from La Liga. From Valencia, I think it was, a couple of years ago. And they paid $1 million of his contract. And they paid the other $1 million. So it's just astronomical. I think, you know, on Facebook recently you've seen the new head coach of Bangkok United, Thai guy. He's on 25,000 New Zealand a month.
Really?
That's not a bad gig.
There's
definitely money, you know, that varies just depending on who you are, your status, and the club and what they want to do. And again, it varies from all the leagues.
So would you go back there for coaching if you were offered? Or, I mean, you got family, haven't you? So
well, here it's just me and my partner with.
Okay.
All my other family now is back in Scotland.
Right.
I've got my Kiwi citizenship as well, so I can
Yep.
go to Australia for like.
Yep.
I used to live in Melbourne, play there, which was nice.
Yeah.
I don't know, I mean, I'm just completing my A licence at the minute,
Yep.
which can be an Asian A licence,
Okay.
but it would need to be the right place and right environment. It's definitely something, you know, I think the next few years I want to, you know, I'm a director of football at the minute at a club here.
Yep.
You know, it might be a case of going to a bigger club,
Right.
you know, like not in this environment. So,
Yep.
you know, Australian clubs are more like professionals.
Yeah.
The environment's professional. Not that I can't create a professional environment, it's, you know, what would happen, you know, an A-League club or an A-League 2 club, which is coming in.
Yeah.
Or I could go into education and be a lecturer,
Yep.
master's qualification in sport coaching.
Okay.
So I think like a couple of years in that to get some background stability.
Yeah.
And then, because previously I wanted a front runner,
Right.
so I was a director role with that.
Yeah.
But you know, the way major brands operate now,
Yeah.
it's not sort of everything's commercialised in the competition, so you can't survive with Nike surviving against you. So
Yeah.
I think I made the right call with that. But now, the danger is that you bounce about from place to place.
Yep.
You coach a team for 6 months, 3 months, and then you're gone. And you have to go again.
Yeah.
If you've got somebody else, and as if normally you're in a relationship. Probably me moving to play football over the years has probably dented a few relationships.
Yep.
But at the time I thought that was my right choice. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely something I'd like to consider.
Yeah.
I know the boy who's the coach of Khon, the national team.
Okay.
You know,
Yep.
and I'm quite interested in the island teams as well and getting involved. And
Yep.
so I played for the Khon Kaen champions,
Right.
and that was in Samoa. So I'm quite interested in, you know, if I can be helpful at the age group levels and
Yep.
technical director later down the line.
Yeah.
But I think with my partner being based here, that's not
base.
base.
Yeah.
But again, sometimes going back home for a year wouldn't be a bad idea.
Right.
Kids have disappeared.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
missing out on everybody growing
Yeah.
up and stuff. So yeah, there's lots of things,
Yeah.
possibilities. But yeah, my main goal is just get my A licence. It's in the submission phase, just to get that ticked off.
Yep.
Finish my masters next year
Okay.
in sports management with the Cruyff Institute, and then decide what I want to do really.
Yeah.
Which is obviously limited by travel restrictions.
It's pain, isn't it? Yeah.
But yeah, it would just, even if it was a bit, you know, in 10 years, if I've got like, because I need a different career behind me,
Yeah.
like being a lecturer, you know, that's something I can go away and come back to.
Yeah.
Because there is a lot of uncertainty.
Yeah.
I'd be apart from a partner.
Fly them with
It's just whether, if it's beneficial, or, whereas if it's Australia, we can both go.
Right.
If it's, you know, if it's here, or we
No,
can both
sometimes
change jobs and both be sacrificing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of hard to predict what's going to happen and when it's going to happen. So
Yeah.
and it's not our man,
It's-
it's another
it would be
man's. It's not Peter
a
Clark.
good gig.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
just coaching in that league, and especially in the Thai league since I've been there. And just,
Hey?
I know, in fact, I've got an Irish boy coach. He's in Indonesia.
Okay. Yep.
He's Vanuatu's head coach. Now he's there.
Yep.
But yeah, it is hard when you've got a partner.
Yeah.
Oh, you feel
Yeah. Yeah. It is. I mean, obviously Thailand's got a place in my heart, and you know, if I had the ability, it's something that I would jump at, and it's just, you know, not having the ability. You know, some people are gifted in sports, and I'm not one of them. I was near the back of the line sort of thing. But you know, I'm sort of aware Khon Kaen had a sports school as well. Did they have anything to do with the football club, or?
I think a lot of it, I think, was run through the College of Asian Scholars. So I think they scholarshiped a lot of the younger kids in the region,
Yep.
and everything was kind of sourced out of that. Like the training ground was behind it.
Okay.
So a lot of it was sourced out there through, and they've now got connections to Japan.
Right.
You might notice when you were there was a lot of Japanese boys coming in.
Yeah.
There's a lot of social media of the president, and then going over to Japan and
Yeah.
connections and bringing those players over.
Yeah.
But a lot of them are like young Japanese players, and I'm thinking, well, why bring young Japanese players over? Why just not
Had a swimming pool.
bring in more
Keep the
foreign
flow.
coaches that know how to develop players
Yeah.
and get set the right environment and bring more Thai players through?
Yeah.
But then that could also lead to frustration if there's any politics between players or any performances coming through it.
Yeah.
So it's like a minefield of, well, it's an area that's already a minefield, the youth development, but
Yeah.
where it's